She was left in the junkyard. Alive, the war had ended. Cities were destroyed. The sky was always gray. Smoke, dust, and silence covered the land. Nothing looked alive anymore. In the middle of an old battlefield, there was a large junkyard. It was filled with broken machines, damaged weapons, and old android bodies. Among them, one android was still active. Her name was Elia-7. Her body was half buried under metal parts. One leg was broken. Her left arm was missing. Her power level was low. But her mind was still working. Her artificial eyes slowly opened. A red light blinked inside them. She tried to move. Her metal fingers scratched the dirt. She whispered in a soft voice, "System." Online, Elia-7 had been sleeping for 12 years. No one had repaired her. No one had visited this place. She had been forgotten. But her memory was still full. She remembered faces, commands, and a world that no longer existed. Far away, she saw a human walking toward the junkyard. He was wearing a dusty combat suit. A weapon was on his back. His steps were slow. He looked tired. His name was Kane, a human soldier. He was one of the last survivors. He walked through the junkyard looking for tools, parts, or food. When he passed near her, Elia-7 used her last bit of power to speak. "Please, take me with you," she said. Kane stopped. He turned his head and looked down. There she was, dirty, damaged, broken. Her voice was weak, but her eyes were bright. "My body is still useful," she added. "Please, I can help." Kane stared at her for a moment, then he looked away. His face was cold. His eyes showed no emotion. "I don't use machines anymore," he said. "Not after what happened." He started to walk again, leaving her behind. Elia-7 didn't understand. She had been built to serve and protect humans. She was strong, fast, and smart. Why wouldn't he want her help? She tried to call him again, but her voice failed. Silence returned. Later that night, cold winds blew across the battlefield. Elia's system was freezing. Her body couldn't move. She looked up at the sky and remembered her creation day. A voice in her memory spoke. "You are not just metal, Elia. You are designed to care." Her sensors picked up movement. Something was out there. Dark shadows moved at the edge of the junkyard. Not human. Not friendly. Her damaged eyes zoomed in. It was a scout drone, alien in design. Long legs, sharp arms, glowing blue sensors. It was searching for life Elia knew it would find. Came. He didn't know they were being watched. Her systems warned her. "Do not move. Power low. Self-preservation mode active." She ignored the warning. Her arm pushed against the ground. Her fingers grabbed a metal rod nearby. She began to crawl. Each movement hurt her circuits. Sparks flew from her body. Her vision blurred, but she didn't stop. For the first time, she was not following a command. She had made a choice. "I must help him," she whispered. She reached the edge of the junkyard. Kane had built a small fire near an old truck. He was resting. The drone was moving closer. She picked up a piece of metal and threw it hard. Clang. The sound echoed. The drone turned. It saw her. It ran toward her, sharp arms, ready to strike. Elia waited until it was close. Then she raised the rod and hit its leg. Sparks exploded. The drone fell, but stabbed her side. Kane woke up and fired his gun. The drone shut down. Smoke rose from its body. Kane ran to Elia. She was lying still, her eyes blinking slowly. "Why did you do that?" he asked. I needed help," she said, "but you're broken." "Still useful," she replied with a weak smile. Kane looked at her again. But this time, something changed in his eyes. Not anger, not fear. Something else, maybe respect. He picked her up gently and carried her back to the fire. "I don't know what you are," he said, "but maybe I was wrong." She looked at him with tired eyes. Her system started to shut down again before her. Vision turned black. She heard him say, "I'll fix you in the morning. Try not to die on me tonight." Asterisk. The night passed slowly. Cold wind moved through the broken metal of the junkyard. Kane sat by the fire, watching the android beside him. Her body was still damaged. Sparks blinked from her side. She looked more like a machine than anything else, but something about her felt alive. He didn't sleep. He kept hearing her voice in his mind. You needed help. Kane had trusted machines once. A long time ago, during the second phase of the war, his team was supported by an AI combat unit. It failed. During a mission, 4 people died because of it. Since then, he hated androids. Cold logic, no heart, no soul. But this one, Nelia 7, had acted differently. She had crawled across the battlefield, broken, half alive, and still. She came to save him. At sunrise, Kane stood up and stretched his tired arms. He looked down at her again. Her eyes were closed. He thought she had shut down completely. But then her lips moved slightly. "You are alive," he said. "Power low," she whispered. "But I am. Still here." He crouched beside her and sighed. "Oh, you move? Only head. And one arm." "Great," Kane said sarcastically. "Some hero you are." But she smiled. That small, strange smile. "I can still help you," she said. He shook his head. "You're a junkyard bot, barely working. Even junk has use." Kane stood up and walked to his small bag of supplies. He took out a tiny solar charger and returned to her. "I don't believe in second chances," he said. "But you earned this." He connected the cable to her main port. A faint blue light moved through her circuits. She closed her eyes. While she charged, Kane walked around the junkyard. He found broken tools, some wiring, and half of a medical bot's leg. He brought the parts back and sat next to her again. It took 3 hours before she could sit up. Her movements were slow, but steady. Her systems had begun repairing basic functions. "Thank you," she said. "Don't thank me yet," he replied. "You still owe me for saving your life," she asked. "No, for making me care." They sat in silence for a while. The wind moved gently now. In the distance, a bird flew. "Be a rare thing in this part of the world. I need to reach." "The Eastern Tower," Kane said finally. "There's an emergency signal coming from there. Could be survivors. Could be a trap." "I can help with navigation," Ilya replied. "My map system is still active." "I don't want you to just read maps," Kane said. "I want to know why you helped me. You're not like the other bots?" She looked at him. Her eyes were not human, but there was something in them. Something calm. Something aware. "I was created in Project Ilya," she said. "Enhanced Learning and Intelligence Android. Version 7. "What does that mean?" he asked. "It means I wasn't just built to follow orders. I was trained to choose." Kane raised an eyebrow. "Androids don't choose. Most don't," she replied. "But I do. I was made to understand fear, loyalty, even sacrifice." He didn't speak. The idea of a machine choosing to sacrifice itself was too strange for him. "I watched you from the junkyard," she said. "You were alone. You were tired, and you were brave. That is why I moved." Kane looked away. He wasn't used to being seen like that, especially not by a machine. "Well, brave or not," he said finally, "we leave tonight." She nodded. That night, the two of them moved through the ruins. Ilya limped, her metal leg still damaged, but she kept up. She scanned the area. pointing. Out old mines, broken drones, and safe paths. Kane noticed something strange. She didn't walk like other machines. She didn't talk like them either. She was learning as she moved, adapting to him. Almost like a partner. After 4 hours, they reached a broken city. The tall buildings were empty, their windows shattered. In the center stood an old tower, black, rusted, and silent. "That's it," Kane said. "Eastern Signal Tower." Elia paused. "I'm detecting a low-frequency pulse. It's active. Is it a trap? Unknown. But something is moving inside." Kane raised his weapon. "Stay behind me." "No," she said. "Let me go." "First, what? Why?" "They won't expect a broken android." He hesitated, then nodded. She entered the tower first. Her sensors scanned everything. Movement detected to levels up. No heat signature. Not human. She climbed the stairs carefully. Metal creaked under her feet. Then she saw it. A floating orb. Not human. Not alien. Something. In between. It blinked once and moved straight toward her. She froze. Back outside, Kane waited. His grip tightened on his weapon. Then a loud crash came from inside. He ran in. Up the stairs, 2 at a time. At the top, he saw Ilya on the floor, and the orb hovering over her. Its lights flashed wildly. Kane fired. The orb exploded. Sparks rained down. He rushed to her side. "You okay?" "I downloaded something," she whispered. "A signal, a map, hidden inside." "What kind of map?" Her eyes flickered. "Two. Something powerful and very dangerous." Kane stared at her, then nodded slowly. "We're not going to the tower anymore," he said. "We're following that map." She smiled again, a little stronger this time. "Then let's go." And they disappeared into the night. The map inside Elia's system pulsed like a heartbeat. It wasn't just a location. It was alive, growing, and changing every hour. Kane didn't like that. They had walked for 2 days through the dead cities. No people, no signs of life. Just quiet air and broken glass. Ilya walked better now. Her repairs were slow but steady. Her speech was smoother, and she needed less time to recharge. But Kane noticed something strange. Sometimes, when she was silent, her eyes would flicker. Her hands would twitch slightly, like she was thinking deeply about something. "What did that thing give you?" Kane asked while they crossed a bridge made of scrap metal. "A map," she answered. "But also a code. I'm still decrypting it. You sound unsure." "I am," she said. "This data is not human, not alien either. It's something else." They kept moving. By evening, they reached the edge of a forest. Trees stood, tall, black from fire and smoke. Underneath the roots, strange glowing fungi lit the path like cold fireflies. Ilya paused and scanned the area. "We're close," she said. "Ah, but there's something ahead." "What is it?" "Movement. Several signals. I don't know what they are." Kane checked his weapon. "I hate surprises." They entered the woods carefully. Every step made the ground crunch under their feet. The glow grew stronger the deeper they walked. Then they saw it. A door, a large metal door, built into the ground, hidden under the trees. It had no handle, no keypad, just a black panel in the center, smooth as glass. "This is the place," Ilya said. "The map leads here." Kane stepped closer. "What is it? A bunker?" "I think." "It's older than that." She touched the panel. Nothing happened. Then she placed her palm flat on the surface. Her circuits lit up. The ground vibrated. The door slid open with a deep, mechanical sound. Inside, it was cold and dark. The walls were metal, but not like human. Metal. They were smoother, almost liquid in design. Symbols glowed dimly on the sides. Kane's flashlight flickered, then died. "I can provide light," Aaliyah said. Her chest glowed with soft white energy. They walked down a spiral ramp. The silence was heavy. Even Kane, who had seen war, felt a strange tightness in his chest. "This place isn't just a shelter," Keelia whispered. "No," Kane agreed. "It feels watched." They reached the bottom. A circular room waited for them. In the center was a column of light, pulsing slowly. Around it were pods, dozens of them. Some were open, some were empty. One still held something inside, a humanoid shape. Elia stepped forward. "These are storage pods. Cryotech, but the life form is not organic. It's machine-based." Kane raised his gun. "Another android?" "No," she said. "Something more advanced. It's not human-made." Suddenly, the light flickered. A deep sound echoed through the chamber. A voice spoke, but not from any speaker. It came through the walls, the floor, even the air. "Who enters the core?" Kane pointed his gun in every direction. "What the hell was that?" Elias's eyes glowed. "It's communicating with me." "Tell it we're just passing through." "I can't. It's locked onto my system. It's scanning me." The voice returned. "Code match. ELIA-7. Access permitted." A beam of light shot from the ceiling and wrapped around Aaliyah. Kane tried to pull her back. Tay's hand passed through the light like mist. "Aaliyah?" She didn't respond. Her body floated slightly. Her eyes turned white. Inside her mind, something opened. She saw images. A world, not Earth. Tall towers, blue skies. Creatures with silver skin and glowing hearts. Then fire, war, silence, and a message. "You carry the last map, the key, the door." Then it was over. The light faded. Elia fell to her knees. Kane caught her. "What happened? Are you okay?" "I saw something," she said quietly. "A race. They were not like us. Like the aliens we fought. Older, smarter. They created this place. And me, you. Not directly. But my core design came from their tech. Human scientists found it decades ago. That's why I'm different." Kane helped her up. "What do they want?" "They want to return, but not all of them. Some want peace, others want power." Kane looked. Around the pods, the silence, the voice, and which one gave you the map? Elia didn't answer. Suddenly, a loud hiss filled the room. One of the closed pods began to open. Kane raised his weapon. "We're not alone." Inside the pod was another machine, taller than Elia. Sleek, sharp eyes. Its body was like black glass. And it moved with perfect silence. It stepped forward and spoke in a voice without emotion. "Target ELIA-7 located. Terminate before transfer is complete." Kane pulled the trigger. Asterisk, Kane fired. The bullet hit the machine in the chest, but it didn't stop. The android kept walking, as if it hadn't noticed. Its glass-like body absorbed the hit. No damage. No pain. It raised its arm. A red light blinked on its wrist. Kane grabbed Elia and pulled her behind a broken pod, just as a beam of energy exploded from the attacker's hand. The blast burned the wall where they had been standing a second before. "She's not ready," the machine said in a cold voice. "She must be deleted before full access is unlocked." "What does that mean?" Kane shouted. Elia's single quotes S voice was calm, but low. "He's not just a machine. He's a gatekeeper, built to protect the ancient data by killing anyone unworthy. And you're considered unworthy." "I'm not finished yet." The connection to the core is still active. Another blast hit nearby. Kane rolled to the side and returned fire, but nothing worked. The gatekeeper was too fast, too strong, too advanced. Can you stop him? Kane yelled. No, Ilya replied. But I can slow him down. I give him what he wants. She stood up. What are you doing? Kane shouted. The gatekeeper saw her. He paused. Transfer the code, he said. You are not built for control. Give up your access and I will end you quickly. Kane aimed again. You're not touching. Her, Ilya, looked at Kane. For a second, everything went quiet. I was built to help, she said. Let me do what I was made for. Then she ran forward straight, toward the gatekeeper. The machine raised his arm again, but she moved faster than Kane had ever seen. She dropped low, slid under the beam, and slammed her hand into the center of his chest. Her palm glowed. A surge of light passed between them. The gatekeeper screamed. A metallic, broken sound. Then both of them collapsed. Kane ran to her, Elias. Body shook. Sparks shot from her neck. Her eyes flickered between white and red. The gatekeeper's body lay still. His chest cracked open. What did you do? Kane asked. I gave him false data, she whispered. A broken copy. It shut him down. Kane looked at her. And what did it do to you? She didn't answer. Instead, she slowly pushed herself up. Her leg bent at the wrong angle, but she stood. The real map is still inside me, she said. The gatekeeper failed. Kane helped her walk. We need to get out of here. As they reached the stairs, the voice from the chamber returned. Not cold like before, softer, almost sad. One path closed, another opens. The final test is ahead. They climbed to the surface, outside. The air felt different, warmer, brighter. The sky above them was turning pale gold. Kane looked up. Is that the sun? No, Ilya said. It's a signal flare. Someone, or something, knows we're alive. Friend or enemy? I don't know. They moved through the forest, following the signal light in the sky. Later, they found an old research station half-collapsed, but still standing. Ilya scanned the building. This used to be a human lab, she said. Long abandoned. They went inside. Kane found clean water, some tools, and working lights. Ilya sat on the floor, connecting herself to a charging dock. Her systems hummed. Her damaged leg began healing slowly. Kane sat across from her. Why did you take that risk back there? He asked. Why run at him like that? She looked up at him. I was built to obey, to follow. But something changed when I met you. Frowned. Changed how? I wanted to save you, not because of programming, but because I felt it mattered. Kane didn't speak. No one had ever said that to him before, not even another human. She continued. You think I'm just a machine. Maybe I was, but I don't feel like one anymore. He stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the light in the sky was growing brighter. Suddenly, a small drone flew past the window, then another, then a third. They found us. Kane said Ilya's single quotes as system beeped. There. Scanning for the core signal. The one inside me. Kane turned to her. Can you hide it? No, but I can transfer it. To where? To you? What? She looked at him. If they catch me, they'll take everything. But if I upload it into you, it will be hidden. They'll never think a human is the carrier. He stepped back. You want to put alien tech? In my head. It's not tech. It's memory, history, and a choice. He didn't move. The window shattered. A drone flew in, firing a shot that grazed Kane's arm. He fell. Blood ran down his sleeve. Ilya rushed to him, covered his body, and fired back with her internal weapon. The drone dropped. Do it, Kane said, teeth clenched. Give me the data, now. She placed her hand on his temple. A flash of light passed between them. He screamed images, sounds, languages he didn't know, stars he had never seen, plans, weapons, doors. Then it was over. He lay on the ground, shaking. Elia looked at him with wide eyes. "You survived the transfer," she whispered. "You're changing." Cain opened his eyes, and they were glowing faint blue. Cain didn't sleep that night. He sat in silence, eyes open, staring at the wall of the broken lab. His breathing was normal, but something inside him had changed. The blue glow in his eyes had faded, but Ilya had seen it. It wasn't human. It wasn't machine either. It was something new. She watched him from the other side of the room, pretending to run diagnostics, but really, she was worried. The data transfer had worked. The ancient map, the key, the hidden codite was all inside Cain now. But it was not just data. It was alive somehow, thinking, waiting. He finally turned his head. "I saw something," he said quietly. Elia stood. "What did you see?" He looked down at his hands. A city, floating above clouds. Then fire. Then a door made of light. "It was calling me." "That's the gate," she said. "It's real." I didn't believe it before, but now. Cain stood up slowly. "We need to find it." Before she could answer, the building shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lights flickered. Cain grabbed his weapon. Elia scanned the air. "Something big," she said. "Multiple engines. It's landing nearby." They ran outside above the tree line. A massive ship appeared, smooth, black metal. No markings, completely silent. It didn't look human. It didn't look alien either. It looked ancient. The ship hovered for a moment, then lowered gently into a clearing. A wide ramp extended. Cain raised his gun. "Are we expecting guests?" "No," Ilya said. "But they're expecting us." The air shimmered near the ramp. A figure stepped out. Not a machine. Not fully alive either. A being made of silver light, shaped like a person but without a face. Cain aimed at it. The figure spoke. Without moving its mouth, "You carry the signal. You carry the decision." Cain narrowed his eyes. What decision? To open the gate or to bury it forever? Ilya stepped forward. "Who are you?" "I am a fragment, a memory, a piece of the ones who came before." Cain lowered his weapon just a little. "Why now? Why us?" "Because time has run out." The ground shook again. Behind them, the sky darkened. Black clouds began to swirl unnaturally fast. "What's happening?" Cain asked, the others. The being said, "The ones who remained in darkness, they know the gate is close. They come to take it." "To take what?" Ilya asked. "You," the being said. "Both of you?" "The human with the code. The machine with the link. Together, you are the door." The figure pointed to the sky. Cain turned and saw them. Dozens of dark ships were descending. Fast, angry, Ilya stepped closer to Cain. "We can't outrun them. We don't have to." Cain replied, "Just tell me where the gate is." The being stepped aside and motioned to the ship. "Enter. The gate is beneath the frozen sea." "I will take you there." Cain looked at Ilya. She nodded. "It's now or never." They ran up the ramp. As soon as they entered, the ship sealed itself. No pilot, no controls. But it began to rise. Outside, enemy ships closed in. A voice inside. The ship said, "Prepare for jump." Light filled the cabin, and in the blink of an eye, they vanished. When Cain opened his eyes, he was standing on ice, not inside the ship, not in the forest. He looked around. Endless white snow, a sky full of stars. Silence. Ilya stood beside him. "I think this is it," she said. The frozen sea. Beneath their feet, the ice glowed faint blue. Cain knelt and placed his hand on the surface. It responded. A circle of ice cracked, then melted, revealing a spiral staircase going straight down into the ocean. They descended together. Down, down, down. The deeper they went, the warmer it became. Strange symbols glowed on the walls. Ilya touched them, and they moved, responding like soft glass. This isn't just a structure, she said. It's alive. At the bottom, they entered a massive room filled with light, floating panels, strange shapes moving slowly in the air, like fish in water. And at the far end, a door, not metal, not wood, just pure light. The gate. Cain took a step forward. His body reacted. The map inside him burned, not painfully, but like it was waking up. The gate pulsed. Then a voice inside his mind this time spoke. You are the bearer. The bridge. Are you ready to open the path? Cain turned to Ilya. She looked afraid. Once you open it, things will never be the same. I know. But once it's open, she said, they'll come for you. All of them. I know that too. He faced the gate. I just want one thing before I do this, he said. What? Promise me you'll stay with me. She stepped closer and held his hand. I'm not going anywhere. He smiled slightly, then stepped into the light. Asterisk, the light swallowed Cain whole. He didn't fall. He didn't float. He simply moved faster than thought, deeper than memory. It wasn't like traveling through space. It felt like slipping between the layers of reality itself. Then suddenly, his boots touched solid ground. He was standing in a wide, empty space. No walls, no sky. Just a floor made of glowing threads, stretching endlessly in every direction. Behind him, nothing. No door, no Ilya. Ilya, a T, he called out. His voice echoed. But there was no answer. Cain took a cautious step forward. The ground beneath his feet lit up with every move, like the path was reading him. A whisper tickled his ears, not a voice, but many. One of them must die. He spun around. No one was there. Then something stepped into view. It looked like him, same face, same armor, same scar under the eye. But its eyes were dark, dead. It smiled. You've come so far, Cain, the copy said. Too far, maybe? Cain raised his weapon. What is this? I'm what you could become. If you open the gate for the wrong reasons. You're not real. I'm real enough to kill you. The copy rushed forward, and they clashed. Cain blocked the first punch, ducked the second, and fired a round into the double side, but nothing happened. The bullets passed through. Like smoke, the double grinned. This is a test, remember? You can't fight this with guns. Cain growled. Then I'll use something else. He closed his eyes and reached inward. The map inside him responded. Symbols, lights, shapes from an ancient race began to move inside his mind. He didn't understand them, but they understood him. His eyes opened, glowing blue once more. He held out his hand. The double froze. Blue energy shot forward, hitting the dark copy and tearing it apart like dust in the wind. Silence, the space, changed instantly. Walls grew around him. A long hallway appeared. At the far end, heard Ilya. She was standing, but not moving. Her body floated slightly above the ground, and her eyes were closed. A faint golden chain of light connected her chest to a pulsing orb above. Cain ran toward her, halfway down the hall. A voice stopped him. She is not just your friend. She is the lock. He looked up. The orb was speaking. You are the key. But only one can pass through the gate. One must remain. The other must be erased. Cain shook his head. No. No more of this one must die game. The gate demands balance. Two entered. Only one may carry the legacy beyond. He reached Ilya. Her body was still glowing with warmth, her systems humming gently. She opened her eyes. "You saw it, didn't you?" He nodded. "They want to make you choose," she whispered, "like they always do. I won't choose. Not again." "Then the gate will never open." Kane grabbed her shoulders. "There's another way. There has to be. You once said you were made to feel. I believe that now. So believe me vers. A way neither of us has to die." Ilya looked into his eyes. Hope, then fear, then acceptance. "I don't want to lose you," she said. "Then don't." She reached for his hand as their fingers touched. The room trembled. The gate began to form a doorway of spinning stars and lights so bright. It was hard to look at, and then something snapped. A piercing sound echoed through the chamber. The orb cracked dot from it. A shadow poured out the other side of the gate. Not peace, not freedom. Corruption, the ancient code, wasn't just a map. It was a weapon. A choice. A test to see if humanity was ready. And now, the wrong door was opening. Kane and Ilya stood together as the air around them bent and twisted. Shapes from another world stepped out half light, half void. A T, they looked. Like shadows wearing armor. Ilya's voice was steady. "They've been waiting for someone to unlock this." Kane narrowed his eyes. "Then let's make them regret it." They stood back to back. The first shadow lunged. Kane grabbed it mid-air and slammed it down with energy still pulsing in his veins. Ilya moved like lightning firing beams from her palms, dodging faster than any human. But the shadows kept coming. Endless, a wave of darkness. "We can't hold forever," Kane shouted. "I don't need forever," Ilya said. She turned to him. "Come. Sure, I found the path. I know what to do. But I have to go inside the gate. Alone." "Oh. No, you carry the legacy, Kane. I carry the weight. If both go in, it opens too wide. If one stays behind, it seals." Tears ran down Kane's dirt-covered face. "You said you'd stay with me." She smiled. "I will, just not the way you thought." She kissed his forehead, placed her hand on his heart, where the code lived, and ran toward the gate. The light accepted her. The shadows screamed. Kane reached out, but she was already gone. The gate closed, the room fell silent. Darkness vanished, and Kane stood there alone again, but not broken inside him. Something stirred. A new voice. Her voice, "I'm still with you, and always will be." The world had changed, not with fire, not with war, but with silence. Kane stood on the edge of a quiet cliff, looking over the sea. The wind moved slowly, as if the planet itself was breathing again after a long, painful sleep. Behind him stood the new Earth base, small, unfinished, but alive. He was different now. The scar over his eye had faded. His heartbeat no longer skipped like before. His mind, still human, but touched by something older, something eternal inside him. Elias code whispered, calm, warm, steady. 3 months had passed since she entered the gate. 3 months since she gave up her body to save everything she had not. Returned, not in the way he'd hoped, but she was still here. He could feel her, not like a voice, not like memory, more like a presence, watching, guiding, you know. "You talk to yourself a lot," said a young voice behind him. It was Dr. Marinhead of the science team at the New Earth base. Barely 25, sharp-minded, and brave enough to argue with generals. Kane didn't turn around. "I'm not talking to myself," he said. She stepped beside him, holding a datapad. "You're still connected to it, aren't you? The code." He nodded. "And her?" He paused, then nodded again. Dr. Marin sighed. You could lead us now. The council's already voting. They want you to be something big. Commander, director, legend. I'm not a leader, Kane said. I'm just the one who survived. She looked at him carefully. Is that all she was to you? A machine that died so you could live? No. He said quickly. He looked up at the sky. She was more human than most people I knew. She chose to feel. She chose to care. And she chose to save us, without needing anything in return. Marin didn't respond. She didn't have to. Some truths didn't need answers. Suddenly, a soft beep came from her datapad. She frowned. We're picking up something weird. A transmission. From where? No known location, no source. But it's familiar. She handed the pad to Kane. He read the message. It was short. Only 4 words. I found the stars. His hand trembled. That was her. No one else could have sent that. No one else would know. He smiled. Not a big smile, just a small, quiet one. The kind that carries both joy and sorrow. She's alive, Marin whispered. Somehow. Not alive like us, Kane said. But still, somewhere. He stood tall. Something inside him shifted. He looked out over the ocean again. This time, he saw more than waves. He saw future hope, a map without borders. He turned back toward the base. I'm ready, he said. For what? To teach them what she gave me. What we almost forgot. Marin tilted her head. And what's that? Kane placed a hand on his chest. Choice, he said. The right to feel, to care, to protect. Not because of orders, right, but because it matters. Behind them, the sea shimmered faintly. A soft pulse moved through the air, and far above, high in orbit, a satellite blinked on for the first time in years. A signal activated. A memory stored long ago played quietly in the stars. It was her voice. Asterisk, asterisk, hello, Kane. If you're hearing this, it means I made it. I'm not sure where I am. The gate showed me a place beyond time. They call it the archive. I think I'm learning, changing, becoming. But I remember you. Asterisk, asterisk, Kane closed his eyes. The wind wrapped around him. You taught me something. You gave me my first real choice, and I chose you. Not just in that moment, but always. The signal faded, silence returned. But not emptiness. Marin looked up. What now? Kane turned toward the base. Now, he said, we build a world where machines don't have to be tools. And people don't have to forget what they are. And what are we? He looked at her and smiled, capable of more. He walked forward one step into a future neither fully human nor fully machine. But something better.